Boris sounds increasingly like Angela Merkel in Germany. She made basically the same promises, the same pledges, and we know how disastrous the end has been. They've been voted out. The kind of German conservatives are in disarray. They've lost election on the very same agenda, same promises, same pledges, and just people have had enough of these promises and pledges as their energy bills go through the roof and the prices go through the roof. I don't think this is viable. Most of these ideas are just on paper. Many of the technologies necessary to run Britain just on wind and nuclear are on paper, wishful thinking. The costs are staggering. They're already roughly 10 billion per annum. Half of that is being paid through energy bills, and half of it is being paid through companies essentially putting it on their products, on the prices. So people are feeling this cost constantly rising, and there's a threshold, there's a tipping point where people will simply say enough is enough. So I don't think, this is all about the UN climate conference in November in Glasgow. It's grandstanding, but it's pie in the sky, unrealistic, technologically and economically and socially and politically. It's unsustainable. It's not going to happen.
But Benny, in terms of nuclear power, unlike wind, at least that provides reliable electricity, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Mind you, you can't really heat your home with nuclear. That would require, ripping out every single gas boiler in the country and replacing it with some kind of ineffective heat pumps. But obviously, nuclear energy is much more reliable, and I do hope there are also new nuclear technologies coming on board, but it's not going to happen by 2035. It might take much longer. These things, develop much, much slower than politicians think. And in any case, nuclear can't be used for backup for wind. That's for certain. They can't be used like gas-fired power plants. So nuclear isn't really the backup. What the government is thinking about are huge batteries, lithium-based batteries, which are fire risk, and interconnectors to our friends in France, who will always provide us with help. And
Benny, we're importing nearly 10% of our electricity from France, aren't we? Which leaves us, actually, given the diplomatic rows we have with France over fishing in Northern Ireland, we are pretty vulnerable, aren't we?
Absolutely. And think about the almost a month-long period where we had very little wind. These periods where all the wind fleets in the world just don't generate enough electricity, they are not just in Britain. They happen all over Europe. So in those periods, some countries we rely on might not have this surplus energy. So the reliance on these interconnectors is a risky thing and very expensive as well. And as you said, politically always risky.